Hello, Waswere here, back with another video, and today is another episode of Boss Man, the series where we go for all the boss drops from all the bosses in the game. There are still only two bosses left, Zammy and Virago, and this video is going to be split between the two. We're continuing where we left off last time, with solo pushing currently at 680%. I'm still doing the same order of 2, 1, 4, 6, 5, 3. Which at the time seemed to be the meta strategy, but I know as Enrage changes, so will my strategy. The goal here is to keep pushing till I hit a hard enough wall that I just don't want to continue anymore. I'm hoping to get to at least 1000% Enrage solo. 700% obtained, no rare drops, should be like 15 mil in loot. 12 mil, not the best one, but still 4 rare relics. There we go. Got the 750 kill. Just barely, but it's over. And we have 250% more to go for 1,000, which is kind of my goal by the end of the second free death week. And the loot is still in like that 10 to 15 mil range. I don't know what all these sell for. Like, people are camping 99% for a ton of commons, so these Serenic scales are basically going down to nothing at this point, which is sad because I have like 2,000 of them in the bank. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. That was crazy. I stalled that up so high. Whew. Right around the 750% point, I decided to change up my pad order and move pad 4 first. The intent of this change is Disintegrate stacks work in a way where every stack gives you 7% damage going through all your defensives. Now, on P7, all your stacks are reversed. So if I have maximum stacks on P6, that means I'll have minimum stacks on P7. So by having Disintegrate first, I now only have 7% damage going through all my defensives, which means I take less damage and I can do better for surviving a second cycle if it's needed. Oh, one cycle 820. Holy crits. 900% is when this boss changes and starts to become a real challenge, especially in solos. The new mechanic is that when you get to the gray HP bar, which is at the end of every phase, healing is turned into overdrive, meaning that past the first couple phases, it will be 300k at the HP cap, and it's impossible to lower it. This means no mechanic skip and dealing with 2 to 3 mechanics per phase, sometimes even more than that. It's quite tough, and the 900 wall was probably my favorite wall of all the ones I've ran into so far. It really feels like the boss opens up. One thing I did hear is the fact that the phases are so long now, I end up killing the minions from pad 3 regardless, because it speeds up the process of getting through that last phase. So I was able to put pad 3 earlier in the rotation so that I was able to get that out of the way very early on when the boss isn't difficult, and then I can end on pad 5 and I don't even need to worry about those pads spawning on me throughout the fight. So it's those cool little changes that really make Zammy cool, because from going from 0 to 900, I've probably gone through 8 different pad orders that felt good, and every time I make a change, it feels good, and then kills get a little bit easier. So if you're at a wall, you're not progressing and you're finding it difficult, maybe try swapping up the order to something that makes a little more sense for the Enrage you're doing. I probably should have devoed, but holy crap, I'm finally done the 900 kill. That took way too long to get. It was like 2 or 3 hours of just grinding away. 900 is just so different from the rest of the fight. But I got it. I broke through the wall, and now I think that should help getting to 1,000, because things really don't change the rest of the way. I just need to optimize what I've been doing. Okay, 930 is done. This is getting tough. I'm stopping at 1K. I want to get the 1K. The 4 digits look cool, but I'm not going to 2K. So 8 more kills to go, and a sub 10 mil. Oh, this is so bad loot. 970 done. 3 more kills to go for 1,000. Getting excited. The loot hasn't changed. I think the comments have capped out. Hopefully the rares are still increasing. Otherwise, that would be a feels bad, man. Okay, 990% done. Pretty quick kill, at least for me, at 17 minutes. I didn't have to stall out the second cycle there. But are we going to get any loot? Oh, wait, I can see that I have no animation. But we have 13.5 mil in loot here. Not too shabby. And there we go. Probably didn't need to stack shards there, but gotta make it safe. That is 1,000% enrage at Zamorak, and it was also our 100th solo mode kill, so pushed up all the way. We got 1K enrage. Let's quick chat this just to make sure. Alright, and now let's see the loot. Yeah, I already know it's not going to be anything good because high enrage kills suck and I don't have any things around me, but I have 14.3 mil. That puts me... It seems to be pretty normal. It seems to have capped out around like 600, 700. But it's done. I'm up to 1K, and I don't know what I'm going to do next. I might go down and do some 99%. Might push again to 2K. I don't know. I don't have the aura resets, the patience, the life refreshers to do it. So it'll take me a while, but if I do a couple more kills, maybe I'll be on the front page. I was the 38th person to get 1000% in solo, and I'm currently ranked 37. So if I push a couple more kills, I can get on the top page. Maybe I'll do that just to differentiate myself a little bit, but I like the round number of 1,000. Decided to do some 99s now that 1K solo is done. The drops are just way too good to ignore. I am slightly worried about this turning into AOD 2.0, where it's all about DPS and it ends up being a pretty toxic place to PVM, and hard to just kind of group up with randoms. I'm hoping that Jagex will make some changes so that high enrages can still be viable for drops, as 99s do get pretty boring pretty quickly. On the very first hour, the very first drop of 99s was Denny pulling a top of the last Guardian's bow. I guess the game is trying to tell me to do some more 99s and stick it out. Oh, we got a drop. It's something. I really like the new animation they put in for drop notification. It's way more obvious as to who has a drop and can help build the hype of a drop as a group better. You see the animation and you wait for them to click to see what happens. And a couple hours later, I was able to see it on my character for the first time. This one was actually a double drop too. I picked up a Chaos Roar while Koala got a blank Codex. Not the best drops, but hey, it's not the worst thing to happen. 3 drop hour, picked up 2 blank codexes and a Chaos Roar, so 188 mil. Kind of sad how much better 99s are for GP than 500s. Like, I made more money here than I did in like 3,500% claims. Yeah, this has to be a bow piece. Yes! No! 99% are too good. This was an adventure in splitting. We got 450 mil each because it sold for 2.25, but we did it via getting Appraisal Wand. So we traded the top of the bow for Appraisal Wand, and then we sold the Appraisal Wand for 2.25 bill. So took a while, but we got our split 450 mil each. Okay, so over the course of 3 trades, I picked up the bottom of the Last Guardian bow, the top of the Last Guardian bow, and the Divine Bowstring. I paid 2.7 bill for the top and the string, and then I paid 4.3 for the bottom. And when you put that all together, that leads to 9.7. Maybe I overpaid, maybe I didn't, but I have a 50 bill loot tab, and I've been saving up this shard stack, and I want the bow. I want to go back to raw go. Now when we equip it, it looks pretty cool. I like it, and it's gonna be a fun bow, but we'll talk about that more when I get to Virago. The bow has a pretty cool special attack. Well, it has two things going for it. First, it has this passive. So every time we get up to 8 stacks here, it's going to release a hit. Like, it's basically going to double the next attack. So I'm going to get it up to 7 stacks here. And now I'm going to snipe. And when I snipe, it's going to double my snipe for 4.4k and then a 1.8k. So that's the first thing. The next thing is the special attack. And when you use it, it's basically a one-hit Darkbow because it's 175% to 375%, which is basically one hit of a Darkbow for 30 seconds. But the cool thing is when it gives a passive for 30 seconds, where the Perfect Equilibrium buff, which is the doubling buff, only takes 4 stacks. So like in a rapid fire, I'll be able to proc it twice. So my rapid fire is 10 hits now, which will be really cool. And I want to try it out with Deathspore arrows, Wen arrows, full arrows, all that sort of stuff. But we got to perk it first. I went ahead and purchased a Codex of Lost Knowledge here for 389 mil. And we're going to restore it now. I have 10 Cywar components because this is kind of cool where like it's kind of like Greater Surge and Greater Escape, or Double Surge and Double Escape, where you can, if you create it yourself, it's cheaper. So for example, to create a tradable version is 20, but to create one myself is only 10. So I can go ahead and craft that, and then I can unlock Greater Death Swiftness, so I no longer need Planted Feet. The next thing I'm going to do is take out my Worm Scalp. So I had pre-bought this Worm Scalp because I want to make a strike bow, which, very interestingly enough, is a shield bow. So that means it is both a shield and an offensive bow. So I can keep applying arrow stacks with it and also barricade with it as T85. So it's going to be very nice for Virago where you want a very long barricade. But now let's go perk up our strike bow and our Bow of the Last Guardian. I have enough for one Coroming 4 attempt, so hopefully this goes well. It is a 30% chance. And let's go, we got it, very first try. Okay, so I have everything perked up here, I think. So on our strike bow, we put Coroming 4, Aftershock 1, Turtling 4, Venom Blood. Pretty interesting combination, but basically the idea is it's a shield bow, so I'm able to use Barricade with it. And because of that, I want a long Barricade for Virago, where that's really important. When I'm cated, I still want to be able to Grico to apply arrow stacks, whether that be Blackstone arrows, Wen arrows, Deathspore arrows, Bic arrows, whatever arrows I want to be applying. I still want to be able to offensively use them, so I want to have Coroming 4 on there. And normally you would have a main hand, which would be Precise 6 Aftershock 1, but really the damage you deal while cated is not that important. It's more about the on-hit effects. As for the Bow of the Last Guardian, I have the base items on it, Coroming 4, Equilibrium 2, and then Precise 6, Aftershock 1. Unless you own a second one, you're going to be then Aftershock 4 swapping between 2 different Bow of the Last Guardians, but hey, I didn't do that for Blightbound, so I'm not going to do that for the T95 bow, and I'll just camp Coroming 4, because again, the on-hit effects from the arrows are just way too important. Then there's also 2 enchantments that improve ranged, specifically, one of them works specifically with the bow. But the first is the Enchantment of Dread, which makes our Nightmare Gauntlets very better. So now our Nightmare Gauntlets, if our target is facing away from us, so say in like a flank position, our snipe will now hit twice. And I'll go show that off once I'm done talking about the next enchantment. The next enchantment is the Enchantment of Shadows, which makes the Stalker's Ring, which is the bow ring, better. So what it's going to do is it's going to make the critical strike chance go up to 4% total. And then on top of that, we get 3% critical strike damage when wielding a bow. That's going to make it better than the Reaver's Ring whenever accuracy is an issue. So 4% critical chance and 4% damage is better than 5% critical chance. So let's go show these off. So I'm standing behind them here. One thing to know about NPCs, if they don't have like a face direction, they're always spawned facing south. So this is technically the flank direction. But if we go ahead and snipe here, we'll end up getting 2 hits of the snipe. So we got a 3.9k and a 1.5k hit. So not only do we have a ton of accuracy from this bow and the plus 25% accuracy with snipe, but we also get that second shot. So that'll be really nice for whenever Virago is behind us. I immediately fell in love with the bow when I went to Virago with it. Mind you, I'd been doing Zami for 2 weeks straight at this point and hadn't used the bow at all, and I was doing as much damage as I was at my peak with Blightbounds when I was doing 6 weeks of Virago and Virago only. That to me shows the power of the bow right away. The most noticeable difference is in Phase 1. I can immediately add 20 Blackstone arrow stacks, which alongside the bomb tank's hammer and the new bow's increased accuracy by being a level 95 weapon, allows me to get to nearly 100% accuracy. This is pretty big because splashing is annoying. I think on a DPS scale it doesn't make a big difference, but on a mental scale it really helps out. Especially with the bow, as you want to work around stacks, and if an attack splashes, you don't gain a stack. So you Grico and you expect to gain 7 stacks, but if one of those splash and you only gain 6, then it can throw off your whole rotation. Once those 20 Blackstone arrow stacks have been applied, I can swap to Deathspore arrows, which gives even more critical chance and potentially a free Darkbow. How these arrows work is that each time you crit, you gain a stack, and once you get to 5 stacks, your next adrenaline draining ranged ability will cost 0 adrenaline. This is very useful to get a free Death Swiftness or a free Incencdiary Shot. Phase 3 will change a lot on a weekly basis, and I think Purple Bomb, which is the week I went to first, is actually the worst week for the bow due to the heavy reliance on ECB and a lot of adrenaline draining abilities, so you really feel the lack of Hydrix bolts. But I'm looking forward to other weeks. Phase 5 was the next biggest difference. Not as big as Phase 1, but it really helps a lot. The extra hits from the bow helps push it back quicker, and the loss of Hydrix bolts is not that big of a deal because with the pre-building with the natty and the Death Swiftness and getting to 110% by the time the phase starts, you can virtually do the same rotation without needing those Hydrix bolts. Purple Bomb used to be 3 to 4 autos before Maul, but with the new bow we're now consistently getting 1 to 2 autos, and I think in all the Purple Bomb kills I did there was one where we got a reflect, while it used to be we'd get 1 reflect per hour. For Scopulus Week Phase 3, I added in a Decimation Essence of Finality. Basically what this special attack does is that it turns all ranged abilities into AoE abilities for 10 seconds. So if I use Snapshot, it'll hit everything in a 3x3 with both hits of Snapshot. The main issue is that it costs a lot of adrenaline at 50%, and you lose a global cooldown of attacking. The rotation I developed relied on getting a free Incendiary Shot with Deathspore arrows, and then decimating and unleashing the DPS with the extra hits. While these rotations are not perfect, they work very well, and I noted a much bigger difference on P3 Scop Week than I did for Purple Bomb. I'll leave the rotation for Scop Week in the description if you want it. As a whole, I'm having a lot of fun of getting to each Phase 3 and Phase 5 and trying to develop a rotation myself. It's a lot of fun, and this kind of theory crafting is what I love about all this new content. Oh, I got a seismic wand. Oh, I don't know. Every broadcast, I'm kind of sad that I don't get the VIT, but hey, I don't know what those are. Ooh, 772 mil GE. Let's go! 728.8. A new PR. This time I went 2 ticks. So, yeah, maybe I'll be quick to go. I think I can get to like 720 probably. Like that was pretty perfect. P1 was a little off. P2 and P4 were perfect, and P5 was pretty nice. That is 3,000 kills at Virago. Whew, I honestly didn't think I was going to make it this far, at least kill count wise. I thought I would definitely give up long before 3,000, but Zami release gave me a little bit of a break. And over the past couple days, I've grinded out these last couple kills. And onwards to 4,000. Let's see if we can beat the Dryas Vitalis post-threshold. And with that, that's the end of the episode. We got one of the 3 bow pieces at Zami and got ourselves up to 3,000 kill count at Virago. Golden Reaper feels so close, yet still so far away. We're going to keep grinding, and it'll happen eventually. I'm just not pushing it too hard at this stage. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on the video. If you want to be notified whenever I upload, subscribe and turn on notifications. But otherwise, have a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one.